mēs jau Radio SWH esam bezgalīgi laimīgi, varētu sacīt tā, jau no 2024. gada marta Spīķeru koncertzālē norisinās džeza mūzikas vakari, kurus vada kāds no Radio SWH ētera personībām, jā, un koncertzāle uz šo laiku pārto pat tādu pasaules līmeņa džeza klubu, kurā valda īpaša atmosfēra, starp citu koncerta viesi arī pasākuma laikā bauda ne tikai nepiespiestu atmosfēru, bet arī šefpavāra Laura Aleksejeva īpaši sarūpētās uz kodas. Nu, un Alvažas skatuves, tur ir Latvijas Radio bigbenda mūziķi, tāpēc pārstāvis Dāvis Jurka arī pie mums šajā dzīvē un šajā rītā ciemos.
Labrīt.
Nu, un nav atnācis viens, tāpēc, ka tieši šovakar Spīķeru koncertzālē ļoti īpašs vakars. Tur viesosies arī tāds klavieru meistars, pianists un vispār brīnišķīgs vīrietis.
Grammy balvas ieguvējs, tas ar taču jāpēmina.
Jā, Džons Bīzlijs.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Un tāpat arī saksofonists un droši vien Dāvis jau tādu baltu skaudību, jā, kas Zviedrijā. Vai arī jūs vienu līmeņu esat?
Ko tu gribi, lai es tev tagad saku? Ko tu gribi, lai es tev tagad saku?
Un Zviedru saksofons zvaigznes Magnuss Lindgrens. Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Welcome.
Brīnišķīgs kolektīvs, viens par otru labāks. Jūs pat esat, tā kā parunāsim mazliet par to, kas gaidāms vakarā.
Jā, nu stāsti, kā jums, cik tālu, kas, ko, kā, viss gatavs.
Nu, viss gatavs, biļešu vairāk nav un tiekamies vakarā.
Jā.
Nē, nu vakarā, viss kā parasti, teiksim tā, un baigais prieks, ka mēs turpinam darīt lietas kopā, un tas ir baigi forši, un šodien vakarā, es domāju, šie abi divi džentlmeņi ieviesīs atkal tādu nepiespiestu gaisotni un uzspēlēs džeza muziku, un es domāju, ka šodien mēs gan jau, ka dzirdēsim par cik tas viss notiek vēl arī tādā saksofonu festivāla ietvarā, vai ne? Saksofonija, jā, kurš tikko sākās, bet tūlīt arī jau beigsies. Kā jau tas ar visām lietām ir. Bet dzirdēsim diezgan daudz saksofonu solo noteikti šovakar un ne tikai šovakar. Tā kā jā.
Tā ideja salikt viņus uz vienas skatuves bija jūsu, vai viņiem ir kaut kāda koncerta programma, kurā viņi jau šādi?
Viņi abi divi viens otru lieliski papildina un strādā kopā jau gadiem pie dažādiem projektiem, un viens no tādiem ir arī Charlie Parker tributes, kas ir, kā zinām, saksofonists, džeza saksofonists, viens no leģendārākajiem un tā tālāk. Un tad līdz ar to daļu no programmas mēs spēlēsim arī sestdien Rīgas cirkā, saksofonijas festivāla noslēguma koncertā, un tad, lūk, arī šie abi divi kungi, un tā.
Vai uz to var vēl biļetes dabūt?
Vēl, man liekas, ka kādu
vēl
var. Vēl kādu var, bet arī
Vismaz.
Nav daudz, tā kā pasteidzieties, jā.
Yeah, thank you for selling out the shows. A lot of people who are now listening to this might still grab the last tickets available, but welcome to Latvia, welcome to Riga, and thanks for stopping by. This is a huge honor for us since your life has been so rich with so amazing musical activities and work. How are you feeling this morning?
We feel great. I mean, already it's so fun to meet you here in the radio. You have a lot of fun, and we don't understand really what you're saying, but it's really an interesting language. Did you pick up some words?
It's sort of like playing jazz, you know. The music of jazz, the language of jazz crosses all kinds of borders and cultures and stuff, and we can pick up on your vibe without knowing your language as well.
Cik brīnišķīgi kungi ir iepriecināti par mūsu valodu, kas skan mazliet kā džeks, jo džezas arī ir mūzika, kas iet pāri robežām un vieno visas, tāpat arī latviešu valoda izklausās amizanti un var noķert mūsu vilni.
Yeah, in the beginning we just briefly talked about the concerts and the Saxophonia festival, and you mentioned that it's an interesting feeling, the festival. It's a big name, a festival, but it starts and ends so fast, right? You wait for this, we wait for this, and then it comes and it goes like this. How did you both meet, and how did that happen that you decided to work together?
I remember very clearly when we met, because there was probably in 2014 or 15 in a also jazz festival. You see, festivals brings people together. That time was in Indonesia, in Jakarta. A lot of great different acts, and everybody stayed on the same big hotel, Borobudur, right? I still remember the name.
Okay, that's right.
And then the nice thing with that festival called Jakarta Jazz Festival, that they put together kind of temporary like a spontaneous and that was the trumpet Clark Terry just had passed away.
Right, legendary trumpet player Clark Terry.
One of our
had passed
biggest
away.
heroes.
Right.
If you haven't heard for your trumpet festival, you have to
Right.
celebrate him.
There you go.
And then we ended up in the same band, tribute to
They put an all-star band
Yeah.
together, so-called all-star, to pay tribute.
All-Star and me.
And no,
What a lovely shyness.
No, and then we met and we realized we do a lot of the same thing. We play and we compose and we arrange for a big ensemble.
right.
So talking, you know.
And we were talking about Hubert Laws, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, as a mutual friend of ours and iconic jazz flute player.
That's for a flute festival.
Flute festival, yeah, there you go. Right.
Izklausās, ka festivāli ir vienojoši diezgan, jo kas par vaicāja, kur kungi ir iepazinušies, un izrādās, ka tas tiešām ir 2014. vai 15. gadā, jau atmiņa mazliet Magnus pieviļ, bet tas arī ir bijis starptautiskā džeza festivālā, kur tad kopā viņi ir parunājušies un sarunājušies un sapratuši, ka ir uz viena viļņa un varētu kaut ko kopīgi arī sadomāt.
And then it clicked.
Wow, that's a really good memory. Let's give a big hand for our translator, right? That was a very long story to
Jā,
translate.
viņš uzlielīja mani, bet viņš jau nezina, ko es iztolkoju, vai tas vispār atbilst arī tam, ko viņi teica.
Not so fast, sir. You have no idea what she said. Be careful with this. But then you continued to work together and something clicked and
We started to work together.
Magnus
to write
invited
together.
me to for his he has a concert series in Stockholm, and I had just released a record called Monkestra with a big band playing my arrangements of Thelonious Monk's music, a great piano festival.
Yeah.
And we've been working ever since. And for the Bird Lives project, we decided to try something sort of new that we don't think a lot of jazz arrangers or any arrangers have done before, where we share the arranging, right? So I would write during my day in Los Angeles, where I live.
Paldies, es iztulkošu, jā.
Okay. And then I would email the file to Magnus, and while I'm sleeping, he continues the arranging.
Because of the time difference, of course. Stockholm,
Yeah.
Los Angeles, I wake up, I have what he did during the night. and I add some
uninterrupted
things.
workflow.
Nu te ir interesanti. Tas sākumā runa par to, ka viņi tiekās no festivāla uz festivālu, bet kas ir interesanti, tajā brīdī, kad es izdomāju sadarboties ar tām džeza aranžījām, tad Džons, dzīvojot Losandželosā, iet gulēt, nosūta Magnusam iesākto darbu, un Magnus Stokholmā, es saprotu,
Tā brīdī
ceļas un ķeras klāt, un tā turpina skaņdarbu veidošanu.
Using time zones to your advantage.
Jā, izmanto
That's right.
laika zonas savā labā.
Yeah.
So the thing is that in jazz you improvise together, you know, and so we sort of took this approach with arranging, you know, combining both of our styles, if you will.
So that Bird Lives project, that was the really big first project that we wrote together. And it had a lot of challenges because the first thing we were not supposed to record an album. We were supposed to play at the Hollywood Bowl, the great stage in Los Angeles. But that was August 20, and then come this pandemic, if you remember.
We had the
happened.
COVID, and it was also Charlie Parker's 100th anniversary centennial. So we were trying to put the record and do all these concerts out for his centennial. Sorry,
Yeah.
Magnus, please.
Pirms pandēmijas tā sadarbība ieskrējās un diezgan labi jau uz skatuvēm sāku realizēties. Pandēmija ievies savas korekcijas, bet tagad jau viss ir atkal. Es minēšu vārdu zirgā, kaut gan sarunā neko par to nedzirdēju.
Droši, yeah. Have you ever wondered, for example, you, John, as I understand, your father gave you a record of Bobby Timmons, and that's what sort of turned you to jazz. Have you ever wondered if he would give you a record of hard metal or hard rock, that your life would be totally different, or you never played these games of what if it was not jazz but something else?
Well,
Where
my
would
dad,
you be now?
both of our fathers are actually musicians.
Oh!
Yeah, and he was always playing all kinds of music. You know, he was playing, bebop. He was playing classical music, contemporary classical music like Elliott Carter.
Yeah.
So I was exposed to all this music. But he might have given me the Bobby Timmons record because he got tired of hearing Jimi Hendrix. It was a genius move, maybe.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
No, but he gave me that record, and I fell in love with jazz and improvised music and never turned back, really. I was obsessed.
Because the genre of music they all have something specific to them, right? A jazz man who goes on tour, it's a different image that we have in our heads. And a rock star goes on tour. We have different, these stereotypes, right? So maybe your life would be totally different.
Right. Probably mostly money is what you're thinking about. As far as
no, I'm
going on tour like that.
No, the life choices, sure. And all the things around. Right.
I think that record, that Bobby Timmons record, was a good bridge record for me because it had this gospel-y kind of funky R&B thing to it for that in the 60s, sort of this boogaloo kind of thing that was a good crossover record.
Yeah.
Nu jā, te par ietekmēm, par tām influencēm, kas dzīves laikā ir bijušas, un abiem māksliniekiem Dāvis, starp citu, arī ir mūziķi, un tad viņa piedāvātāja un klausītā mūzika bieži vien ietekmēja izvēles. Tajā pašā Bobby Timmons ierakstā arī Džons atrada kaut ko priekš sevis un turpināja tādā vīzē.
Un forši tā versija, ka iespējams tēts vienkārši bija nogurs dzirdēt Jimi Hendrix.
Jā.
Atspoguļojums.
Viņš ir pamainīts stils.
Yeah. Magnus, if I may, so you've worked with so many great artists, and to name a few, Herbie Hancock, Gregory Porter, Bobby McFerrin, and still people talk about you that one of the things that is significant about you is that no matter where you perform, you still like to be playful and improvise, as in jazz, of course. But do you sometimes see in other musicians' faces that they are on a limit of being terrified of not knowing what to expect from you, from your playfulness or your improvisation, that there has to be some sort of limit? And although you always play with professional musicians, as it's also going to be here, has there ever been a case?
No, I mean, I'm happy you mentioned the word playful. I think we all share that because in the frame of jazz, that's why we like to play jazz, because that it's always a black hole. You don't know what's going to happen, and it's never the same from one day to another. And that you can, I mean, that's why we love playing this music form. It's wonderful. I mean, can you imagine how playful that is? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And even and it's we would like to say that when we started to rehearse with this band 2 days ago, we have to rehearse. It's such a honor to. This is one of the best European big bands that we have here in Riga. Yeah, in the frame of that we arrange stuff, and inside there we have a lot of space for exactly doing what you say. We have a playfulness. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's magic.
Jā. Magnus,
sorry.
Nekas kārtībā. Magnusam jautāja par to, ka viņš jau ir dzīvē saspēlējies un strādājis ar dažādiem profesionāliem mūziķiem, bet ir slavens arī ar savu vēlmi spēlēties un daudzīties uz skatuves improvizācijās džeza. Un Magnus arī atbild par to, ka jā, un džess ir tā vieta, kur tiešām to var darīt, jo tur ir tādi melnie caurumi, kurus var piepildīt ar dažādiem interpretācijām un improvizācijām. Turklāt, tas wow, ko es sacīju, tas bija par to, ka Magnus nosauca Latvijas Radio bigbendu par vienu no Eiropas, tādām ietekmīgākajām, vērienīgākajām, izcilākajām grupām.
This is about what you said, that it's one of the best big bands in Europe.
Big band in Europe.
We stopped you there.
Huge band.
Is there anything you left out? Because we sort of jumped on you. Did you want to continue? Or
no, so I feel that we feel that everybody are totally comfortable. Nobody's afraid. I would say the opposite. You get afraid we love classical music, but there is a big difference with classical music. And if you have a music chart, you have to play. Then you play right or wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, let's say from Mozart or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you get scared. But if you can be totally relaxed. We play jazz.
There's a reason why they call it playing music.
Aha, so nice. This is a bit of wisdom for us here. Yeah, for the heart,
I have to say,
it is playful.
Super inspiring to have a festival celebrating the instrument of saxophone. I mean, that's one of the youngest instruments, founded in 1870 by Adolphe Sax in Belgium. And that instrument is so significant for this genre of music. I mean, saxophone is... and for me, I discovered jazz as John, like have a bridge album from if you didn't like jazz before, like an entrance, and that was also connected. I started to play saxophone. Where can I find saxophone music? Yeah, it's mostly in jazz, and that's make it.
I see.
You know, very good.
Also, the disclaimer is Magnus is a saxophonist.
Dāvi, kas tur bija par tiem saksofoniem? Es nesapratu.
Viens no jaunākajiem instrumentiem.
Viens no jaunākajiem instrumentiem,
jā.
Protams, viņš tiek asociēts visvairāk un pirmām kārtām ar džeza mūziku. Tā tas ir iegājies.
Tā viņš tur iegājās.
Tā viņš tur iegājies.
Okay.
Mozartam nebija nekas džezam. Saksofonam.
Vienkārši saksofons nebija tad, kad bija Mozarts.
Nebija, bet nabaga Mozarts.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about Mozart and Bach and Brahms, any of these composers from that era, that they were great improvisers. Sort of the jazz musicians of their day.
Right.
And they just happen to write down their improvisations.
Jā, cik interesanti,
It all starts with improvisation.
Mocarts un Baks nepiedzīvoja saksofonu, bet te arī Magnus minēja sākumā par to, ka, redzi, ja tu spēlē Mocartu vai Baku, tu vari aiziet kaut kur greizi, ja, un nospēlēt nepareizi, bet džezā tu vari visu laiku improvizēt un atspērties no jebkura punkta. Un te arī forši pieminēja Džons, ka, lai arī Mocarts un Baks nepiedzīvoja džezu, viņi tāpat bija izcili improvizātori.
Jā.
Un džez arī.
Jā. I loved the phrase, it all starts with improvisation. I absolutely loved it, and I think a lot of people tonight will be thrilled to have you here in Riga and experience you in Radio SWH Jazz Club. And then Saturday, the Saxophonia, Rīgas Cirks. Biļetes meklējiet internet plašumos. To conclude everything and to sort of end, which do you think is the best friend of saxophone? Instrument-wise, if there would be...
that's a good... I never had that question.
Yes.
I don't know what you... like best friend.
Yes!
Well, I think we have the same brand saxophones and the same model, but just the two different types. I mean.
So they could be the best friends?
Yeah, but you mean another instrument?
Another instrument. Yeah.
I would say clarinet.
Okay.
A clarinet?
Because clarinet is so much more difficult. They put clarinet for beginners, which is totally so wrong. So if you try to play clarinet and you struggle, it sounds horrible. And then you switch to saxophone. Wow. So I would say clarinet is the best friend.
Bet cik saksofona labākā draudzene varētu būt klarinete. Klarinete tieši dodot iesācējiem, un tas laikam ir tas nepareizais solis, jo tā ir daudz sarežģītāk.
Yeah.
I think the best friends of a saxophone would be the greatest musicians that played the saxophone, which would be Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Michael Brecker, Cannonball Adderley, and those are the very people that you will hear in the big band concert. Their compositions.
Amazing.
And it best friend for piano?
Not me. Art Tatum, maybe.
Thank you so much for stopping by. We really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, we hope to
Thank
see you all here in the shows. Yeah. Thank you so much for...
Thank you. Thank you. We will now listen to Summertime. Any comments on this? The Bird Lives record.
Dreaming of summer today.
Yes.
Good luck. Let's close the shades by the window. He's about that. Summertime.
Good.